Good evening and shalom. The question concerns our eternal security in the Lord. I understand that salvation is a free gift from God. That means I did not earn it by any means. How then do we maintain our salvation? How do we keep it? Do we need to earn it in some way? I think of the verse from Philippians 2:12 which says, "Work out your salvation with fear and trembling." Does that mean we run the risk of losing our salvation if we don't work hard enough at maintaining it?
You see, this is a verse that is often used to try to prove that one can lose his or her salvation. Let me begin by saying that once we get the gift of God, it is forever. That is the gift of salvation. It's written in Romans 11:29, "For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable." Once God chooses and elects, it is forever. The argument in Romans chapter 11 is that as God chose Israel and never forsook the nation, so he chose every believer. And Paul confirmed this truth in this letter to the Philippians, where we read to work out our salvation. In verses 6 of chapter 1, he says, "For I am confident of this very thing, that he who began a good work in you will perfect it until the day of Messiah Yeshua." There are many more verses, of course, throughout the scriptures about our eternal salvation, but for now, let us concentrate that is on Philippians 2:12 to 13. This is what it says again.
Therefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now how much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you both to will and to do for his good pleasure.
Now the question is, if salvation is eternal, why do we have to work at it? Let us look at how the Bible presents salvation itself. It divides it into three parts: past, present, and future. We have been saved, reborn, renewed, and justified, which is past, as we read in Titus 3:5. He saved us not on the basis of deeds which we have done in righteousness, but according to his mercy, by the washing of regeneration and renewing by the Holy Spirit. So it is a full gift from God. Past because it is guaranteed. Now, while it is past, the Bible also presents it as present, as an ongoing process. As we read in 1 Peter 3:2, we read that he now saves us. While we are now saved, there still is sin in our lives and all around us. It is also present because it is here we are working it out, as the verse says. This working out is understood by the word sanctification. And salvation is also future. It's a future condition when we will be, when Yeshua comes back to take us to heaven, we'll be completely sinless, either at the rapture or at the resurrection, whichever comes first for us. As for the present state of salvation, which believers are now undergoing, Paul stresses this fact in the verse right after Philippians 2:12, when he says, "It is God who works you both to will and to do for his good pleasure." This reminds us that when one accepts Yeshua as his Messiah, this person is saved with the presence of the Holy Spirit in him, as we are told in 2 Corinthians 1:21 and 22.
Now he who establishes us with you in the Messiah and anointed us is God, who also sealed us and gave us the Spirit in our hearts as a pledge.
You see, in secular Greek, the word pledge was a down payment, okay, in a transaction, okay. In the same way, the Lord seals every believer with his Spirit so that we can work out our salvation, our sanctification until he comes. It is because of that permanent seal we can keep operating to work out this precious responsibility that is given to us. So we are saved forever, but in the present time we are working this salvation that is ours in order to prepare ourselves for eternity.